Hello again, it's Margot Tripsa. In this tutorial, I will talk about Google Classroom. This is tutorial number 10 of the orientation module, Collaboration within and beyond classroom walls with Google Classroom. Google Classroom is a blended learning platform for schools that aims to foster collaboration within and beyond classroom walls and simplify creating, distributing, and grading assignments in a paperless way. Due to all its wonderful features, Google Classroom can really make teachers' life easier. The main topics I will cover in this tutorial are the following: Google Classroom's interface, creating a class or joining a class, creating announcements, creating assignments and adding resources, creating and using questions, differentiating posts, grading and returning assignments, and finally filtering the class stream. I will also share other tips and tricks for using Google Classroom. This is what I see when I access my Google Classroom. So I can see my 4 classes, but I will start by showing you how to create your account. To do that, I will use my other Gmail account. So all you need to have is a Gmail account. And then you need to look up Google Classroom. So this is Google Classroom. And because I don't have a Google Classroom account here, the first thing I need to do is hit the blue button that says continue. Students will be able to join a class just by clicking the plus button and then adding a code. If you do it that way, all you need to do is share the code with your students. As a teacher, you would choose this option that says create a class. It might ask you if you're a teacher or a student, if you used an email that is part of an organization. And you need to choose, obviously, the option I am a teacher. Back to my Google Classroom account, I will just show you how I create a class. Plus button, create a class, name your class. Sample class 2017. Okay, and then create, and then you will have your class. Once you have your class, then you can select a theme if you don't like it. There are some templates here that you can choose. Select class theme. Then you're ready. If you want to see the classes you have, you go here to the menu and you will see all of your classes listed on the left side. If I want to go to my home page, then I see all of them. For each class you create, you get a different code, and I will show you how you can find the code that you will give to your students. If I access my math class, I go to students, and then I can see my students, but on the left side you can see the code that you will give to your students. You can reset the code if you don't like it and you want an easier code, or you can disable it when you're not teaching the class anymore. Okay, so now the fun part, adding content to your Google Classroom. To do that, you need to access the Create button, this one on the lower right corner of your screen, and then you will see that you have some options such as create announcement, assignment, question, or reuse all posts that you have created previously. So to create an announcement, you choose this option, and then you can share with your students messages, or you can even attach files if you want to. You can attach files you have on your computer or Google Drive, content you have, videos from YouTube, or other links. Something that's very interesting is this new feature that helps you categorize the announcement by creating a new topic or selecting one that you've created before. Because I haven't created any topics in this sample class, I will create one now, and I can say field trips. And whenever I have an announcement about a field trip, I can use this label, something similar to a hashtag. And then I can say field trip, remember to wear your PE uniform, for instance. And if I teach multiple classes, I can check all of the classes I want this announcement to show up in, and then post. Google Classroom is really a place where you can store and share all the important resources for your class. If I want my students to work on an assignment, for instance, I upload all the resources they need for that assignment. For instance, when I wanted my students to work on a biography, I attached the rubric. I also had a checklist that they could use, also some videos that they could watch in order to produce their work. And then you can see how many students finished and how many didn't finish, in case that happened. And by clicking on the question or on the assignment directions, you can see their work. You can provide students with a grade, and if you don't want to use this grading scale, you can change it. For instance, if you're using a 1 to 4 grading system, you just change it to 1 to 4, and then you can provide the students with a grade. We will talk about this a little later in more detail. In regards to the topics or the labels, I want to point out the fact that if you use those labels or topics, they show up on the left side, and it's very useful because, for instance, if the students want to filter the content and find homework, then all they would do is click on homework and all the assignments that were labeled with this word would show up. If the students want to see the post about online safety, it's very easy for them to find it, because if you post a lot, it will be hard for students to find the content they need, and it will be a lot of scrolling up and down. To create an assignment, you would go to plus and then create assignment. You give it a title, research project for instance, and then the direction would go here. If you want to set a due date, it's very easy. You can pick the date, and then you can also choose a time if you want. And then, like I said, this is where you need to choose the topic. I have my topics, but I can create a new one if I want. For instance, research project, and I can add different content. So if you want to add something you have on your computer, you would go there and then select the file you want. If you want to attach a file you have in Google Drive, then you can search for it here. Okay, non-fiction. Let's see what resources I have about non-fiction. Okay, if I want the students to use this rubric, I just click on it and add, and it will be added to the resources. And then if you want to add a YouTube video, you can search for it here, non-fiction research. And then you preview the videos you find. And if you like them, then all you need to do, you click on the link and then add, and it will be added to the resources again. If you search for it in a different browser, you can just paste the link here and it will be listed in the drop-down menu. A couple more tricks. If you manage more classes, you can publish the same assignment to more classes simultaneously. By default, it says all students in this class. But if you want, you can go there and then choose multiple classes. And then assign, or you can schedule it or save it as a draft. So if you do want the students to access these resources right now, then you can schedule it and then it will show up whenever you want. This is extremely useful if you like to plan ahead. A couple more fun features that Google Classroom offer are: it allows teachers to choose how files are distributed to the students. In other words, if you are attaching a Google Doc, for instance, or it can be a Google Drawing or maybe a Google slide presentation, you can allow the students to just view the file or click on the triangle to the right, and then you will see that you have two other options. You can allow the students to edit the file collaboratively. That means all of the students will be allowed to edit the same document, or you can make a copy for each of the students. And another fun feature is the fact that Google Classroom really allows you to differentiate your instruction and the resources you are sharing with your students, and they will not even know that you will provide different resources to different groups of students. By default, assignments will be given to all of the students, but what you can do is access these options. You will uncheck all students and then you will select only the students you want. Okay, and to create a question, I think this is a very interesting feature. You just put a question, you can have a due date, and you can have short answer or multiple choice. You can allow the students to see the class summary. It is a very quick way to check a student understanding. One last tip regarding grading. If you want to grade assignments, you can do it very easily. You can also write a private comment for the students. You provide a grade, and then you need to remember that they will not see the grade unless you return the work to them. Once you provide all the grades, you can select all the students and return their work to them. To download the grades, you can go to the gear button and then you can save all of the grades. Google Classroom truly allows teachers and students to collaborate within and beyond classroom walls. Thank you.